Welcome to T Boys TV. I didn't even expect that track. I'll be honest, guys. So that was a bit of a different sound, as you lot will know. But yeah, I didn't even expect that come out of nowhere. But yeah, obviously we're here for the Hat Show. Obviously, we're going to get into a draw against Plymouth, and then obviously we've got a big game on Sunday. Team news has come out early. I always like it when it comes out early. 2 days before a game or even earlier. It gives us time to do this, and especially with how our season's been, sort of get it out of the way, and then get into the nitty gritty stuff really. But how are you, Dad?
Yeah, not too bad, man.
Good. Yeah. Let's get going. So Plymouth reaction. Well, we'll start off with the lineup, and obviously I put on my Instagram story when it come out that you got it spot on, Dad. It was exactly what you said. Morris was obviously out due to illness, otherwise he probably would have been in. But it was Kaminsky in goal, obviously. McGuinness, Naismith, and Bell, 3-5-2 again. Jones, Doughty, and then midfield was Walsh, Nakamba, Asgard, Nordas, Elijah. As for your bench, it was Ali, Anderson, Baptiste, Bowler, Brown, Johnson, Krul, Nelson, and Walters. Now, we knew Doughty was going to go straight back in. He's been one of the better players for us in the last couple of weeks. So that was always going to happen. Obviously, Baptiste and that, you probably expect them to be on the bench. You're not gonna throw him in, especially with how injury prone he can be, and obviously you've got Walsh there playing well anyway. There. Nakamba was a nail one. I mean, there was rumours that Lamine was back for this game, available, but we didn't pick him. He weren't on the bench at all, which was interesting that he weren't at least on the bench. But other than that, well, like I say, it was exactly what you said, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah, so it was all good. You know, Morris being ill, it's a shame and that, but he's back for the next game, and he'll probably go straight back in. Some strength in depth a little bit, on the bench and stuff. So yeah, it was
Yeah,
good to see Naismith was captain as well.
yeah. A lot of people obviously been calling for that to happen. Like I said in the match reaction, I mean, I put a question out of it. It got a lot of attraction on Instagram and stuff, and it's one of them where I've seen a few people going, yeah, but he's a lone player. What are we doing? At the end of the day, his performance the other day was immense. Some of the stuff he was doing, the ball at his feet, he's so good at bring. And I think I said it in the last episode, bringing the ball down with his chest. I've seen no one do that as good as him since probably McNulty. If I'm going to be honest, the way he brings it down like that, it's incredible, really. And some of the, when the ball was at his feet, there was a moment I thought he messed up, but he didn't. I think he skilled up about two players. Like just that calmness that we needed at the back. We've needed it for a very, very long time. He is definitely bringing that, and I've got expectations that McGuinness will do well in the future and will become one of the leaders for us. But we need someone who's been doing it a bit longer, and Naismith has been, and he's showing why he's a good signing at this moment in time. Re-signing, you should say. So yeah, but going into the actual game itself, I mean, I thought we started off well again. Similar to the Sheffield United game, we were limiting Plymouth to stuff, which again you would sort of expect given their away form, given what we've done against Sheffield United as well. It's one of them where you look at it and you think, well, it's a massive game, for us and for them as well. But we're at home, we've got to make the most of it. Evening kickoff, and I thought we had decent moments. I mean, we had a good opportunity at the start. McGuinness with the long throws. I mean, what do you guys make of that? Centre backs taking throws. I mean, it's very rare, isn't it? Really, unless they're taking a quick one, it's more so, your fullbacks, or as for us, it more so be wing backs. But it was quite interesting. I mean, he's good at throws. We've been saying for a while that, especially when we watch games together, we're sort of missing that long throw element that Kornick brung. But it looks like McGuinness can bring that going forward. And there was a good opportunity at the start. I think it was a Nordas header over the bar. It weren't too bad. And you got to think. I'll be honest. I was a little bit surprised he started just due to the match fitness thing. I want him to start. But I was just a bit surprised that he did actually come in and start. But he had a decent starting debut, you could say. Obviously, had that chance, and it was one of them where we limited them really to such little in that first half. Obviously, I did get a goal. That was it really. That obviously didn't stand. I mean, very very tight. Potentially, maybe it did get away with that. I mean, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Kaminsky should have come out and that," but again, it's been what it's been like in a lot of games. Him and Bell just not communicating properly, and it's one. And if anything, I'm not really annoyed at Kaminsky. I'm more annoyed at Bell because it's a simple ball over the top. And you look at the goal they got in the game, we didn't learn. We didn't learn. It was another long ball, and it worked. And it was so frustrating in that element. But potentially maybe got away with one, didn't we? That with the offside goal.
Yeah, I think Bell was playing him onside. Um, he's just not been good enough this season, and well, I think we're just going to be persisting with him because he's got the experience. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind seeing Johnson start, but I just think that's he'll be gone at the end of the season. It's a shame, but you can see similar to Bradley in ways that you know that they just haven't got it anymore. Ruddock as well, and he's another player, and he's cost us quite a few times this season. Yeah, but Nordas, coming up for the header, great leap. It's only a matter of time before he scores. I think. I think he looks already better than both the strikers we've got. I'm not going to lie. I honestly think that. And I think you need to be starting him. But yeah, we limited them. They sort of come to defend anyway, and then they were moaning. Their manager come out and started spouting nonsense about they play the fast and long balls and all this. All right, we have more possession. Obviously, if you've got two big men up front, you're going to be hitting up towards them anyway. Everyone acts like it's a fucking crime to play direct football, and it annoys me. Do you know what I mean? We haven't played. We've been playing like that. We can't play on the floor football. That's what Rob Edwards said we was going to do, and we ain't been doing it. And we ain't got the players to do it. We've got a couple of players. Do you know what I mean that can do it, but most of them they've not been recruited that way, and that's the problem. So, at the end of the day, if we go direct and we're getting points and results, then who gives a shit? But yeah, there was one where Naismith passed it a direct ball straight to Nordas, and he took it on the volley early. Obviously, it was wide and that, but for him to be attempting that, them two working together. Was good. Naismith is basically, it's like he hadn't left Luton the way he's been playing. He went to Bristol City for more money, and it didn't really work out there. He's come back to the club where he played his best football, and he's continuing to do that. So, if anything, he's probably our best signing at the moment. And that pass to Nordas was excellent. And he's just calm. He's just playing. Everyone else needs to step up, and the ones that have been there long enough should be playing like Naismith is basically. But yeah, we were lucky. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? There's no VAR. At the end of the day, it's offside. We've had decisions like that go against us this season as well. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially at Naismith, like I say, just looks so calm and composed. It just looks like he hasn't lost anything really. A lot of people were sceptical just because of his, match fitness. He hasn't really played a lot of games towards the back end of Bristol City. Obviously, he was injured and then he come back the last few games. So they were a bit sceptical on that, but come in, didn't quite start the first couple of games. Obviously, had a couple of minutes against Sheffield Wednesday, same against Sunderland, I believe. And then obviously he's come in, since we've been playing a back three, and he's been really good. Especially the other day, I think he stood out really well for us, and he was looking really, really, really good in that sense. And to be honest, I thought if we were gonna, when we do play him, obviously this is more so in a back four, but I thought it'd sort of be on the left, whereas in that back three, he's the one in the middle. So, he's doing really well there on top of that as well. With him being left-footed, I just thought he'd be out on the left, make a bit more sense. But he's done well there when it comes to that. But yeah, moving on to the second half. So we go in 0-0. I mean, at least we're not losing. They haven't really caused too much of a threat, like I say, other than that goal, which was one simple ball over the top, like we say. But going into the second half, it was an interesting one because, we'll just go straight into it. Brown, I mean, obviously on the vlog, shout out to everyone that watched that. I was saying, he's got to come on, he's got to do something, and he did straight away. I mean, he couldn't really miss with the amount of space he had. But then again, it is quite a hard header to do, and he is in the right place at the right time. So you've got to give him credit for that. Great assist from Nordas. Doughty obviously originally crossed the ball in as well, using his crossing element to good. Nordas with the assist and flicked it on, and that's another thing Nordas looks like he'll bring other than goals. I know he hasn't quite scored yet, but he'll bring that. He's a striker, but now he looks like he can link up really well as well. Used his height to his advantage, winning the header. And then Jacob Brown was there to score. And, it's interesting now because, Elijah had another good chance in this game, blew it over. Morris has come back. I'll be honest, if Morris didn't come back, you probably would put Brown in up front with Nordas on the weekend. But with Morris coming back, I'm not too sure now, but great goal.
Yeah, it was. 3 passes. I think it is Asgard to Doughty. Doughty dinked it in. Brilliant header. And then I could see when it was going towards Brown, especially when you look back on the highlights, that Doughty's like, get it in there, like, shaking his fists and that, have a look at it. And then Brown obviously scores. That was a really good goal. Do you know what I mean? And, if that's what you're classing as one of them 1,000 long balls, then what jog on, innit? What do you want us to be? 15 passes and then score? Is that the rules? Especially in a relegation battle, shut your mouth. So yeah, I thought it was a really good goal, and again, Nordas with the assist. He's busy, he's lively, he's clever. He needs to be starting, as I've already said. As long as he's fit enough, you've got to be starting him because he's already brung a lot of quality. He could turn out to be better than the other guy we was after. So based on what I've seen between the two of them, this guy's he's big, like he's 6 foot and that 6'4", but he's just mobile. He's got better control. He's I already think he's miles better than Elijah, mate. So yeah, deserved to go in the lead, and obviously he's satisfied with that at that time.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching it, I was thinking, just with how the game was. I mean, what we're like when we do take lead, we do like to mess it up a lot this season. I was thinking we need to try and get another goal. I think this was them type of games where if we say, for example, we did go 2-0, I think we'd have won. And I know they say 2-0 is a dangerous lead, but just how the game was, getting 2 goals in the second half, I think we'd have had a good opportunity. Obviously, we did make some subs. Baptiste come on, did have a shot, then looked like he was going to get injured. Lucky enough, he didn't. He did carry on. And to be fair, I don't think it was bad after he carried on. He tried to be an influence. He had a few good crosses into the box. He was getting onto things. So obviously that happened from Walsh. And then the last 2 subs, well, they did score, obviously. Again, like I mentioned earlier, cross over the top, Bell's ball watching, and that's the annoying thing. Look at the goals we've conceded in the last 2 games. It's been players ball watching. Obviously a lot of people, saying about, McGuinness wasn't quite on the pitch for this moment. Maybe it made a difference. I don't think it would have, because at the end of the day, it's not who he would have been marking. It's who Bell should be marking, and he wasn't marking properly. Again, maybe the communication between the two, but it's just simple, isn't it, really? Like, simple errors. Like I say, I'm not going to be harsh on Kaminsky because the amount of times he's prevented it from being worse. We would have a mountain to climb. We've already got a bit of a mountain to climb, but we'd even have even more of a worse mountain to climb if it wasn't for him. The amount of saves he does prevents it from. We could have a worse goal difference than we already do. if it weren't for him. So not going to be criticising him. Bell's not good enough anymore. I've said it when the contract's up in the summer. We've got to move on. We've got to move on from players like that because the liability. I'm sorry, he's a liability nowadays, and he's just not good enough. And it was proven when we got fortunate with their first goal, it didn't stand, but we didn't get away with that one, did we?
But the thing is, it's not really his normal position. He's been shooed into that position over the last year, 2 years, whatever. And that's the problem, I think. Do you know what I mean? When he was playing in the Doughty position or in left midfield, left wing, whatever, he was much better. But in this position, it's not really for him. Do you know what I mean? I think if he goes somewhere else, he plays his normal position, is fine. And yeah, ball watching, yeah, it's possibly would have made a difference. Do you know what I mean? But Doughty and Bell both, Doughty it can defend sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But it's not his natural game. But yeah, they should have been more alert for that. Kaminsky maybe, I felt maybe his position could have been a bit better, to be honest with you. But yes, it's frustrating. And then obviously we had that chance right at the end with Brown. Maybe he should have done better, but there's a lot of pressure there. Do you know what I mean? He scored anyway, which is what we wanted from him. So overall, I think we didn't play too bad. A lot of people, if you can't beat Plymouth and that, Plymouth have been stepping it up in the past. They were rooted to the bottom. They beat Liverpool. They signed some good players. The guy that scored, that's his first goal for them. They signed some like warriors, proper warriors. And have we? Probably. We have signed a couple. Naismith's a warrior. I reckon Asgard can be. They kept him quiet. Nordas definitely is. So, it brought us a point closer at the end of the day. It is looking tough. Looking at the running. Quite simply, we've got to pick up them points. But, some of the furore and all that on social media is a bit like, it's like some people, they wouldn't be able to cope if we got relegated. Do you know what I mean? Like, sort yourself out. We've still got a lot of positives to look forward to, and sometimes it happens. My thoughts on it is, we were built in such a way over them 10 years that nothing lasts forever, and Rob Edwards, he did tail off of Nathan Jones' success to a certain extent, and we kept that going first in the Premier League. It was all exciting, and the players wanted to prove themselves and that. And in reality, when you come back down, unless you make certain signings, we were like, yeah, we'll see how these guys do. It's worked before, it's worked in the past, but it hasn't worked, has it? And that you just need a reset sometimes. Like, it ain't the end of the world at all. You know what I mean? I've seen a hell of a lot worse. Been in the conference for 5 years. And you get people saying League One's hard to get out of. I don't think it is if you've got money and you've got clout, which we have. And the last time we was in that league, we'd only just got promoted from League Two. You know what I mean? We smashed it, and Nathan Jones left. So I think if we go down, which is looking more likely at the moment, we'll be straight back up. So you just got to accept it to a certain extent. The board will learn from it. There is learning periods in these time scales. And this is one of them. It could be a lot worse. We're not getting no points deductions. We're not getting administration. We've got some good players at the club. We've got some deadwood at the club. We can get rid of them, but we've got some very good players at the club that we've just signed. Which we will be able to keep because we can pay their wages. Yeah, similar like Birmingham, and we can make them sign. So it's just been a shit season. Which I haven't, 2 shit seasons really, regardless of who's in the Premier League. and we're not used to losing, that many games consistently in the past couple of years. It's terrible. But at the end of the day, the improvement is there for people to see. You can see certain players that we've signed have made the squad look better. And, when we have lost, generally, it's been pretty close in most games. We're not getting hammered like we was under Rob Edwards. It's just the timing. That's what the timing was wrong. But there is still time, And the game against Watford before we stepped on it, we thought, right, that's it. We beat them. We looked really good. We thought that'd kick up start our season. It didn't. Maybe this time, if we do the same, then it potentially will kick up and start our season. But you just have to wait and see. Like it's so awkward, isn't it? It's finding where that next win's coming from. But then we thought the same. We just wanted a performance against Watford, really, didn't we? We actually tore them apart. So then new guys will be told, and they'll know, how important this game is. Players like Doughty, Naismith, do you know what I mean? Convinced anyone who's played against them already will know. So form goes out the window a little bit. But anyway, I went on a bit of a rant, but at the end of the day, it's not the worst point in the world, is it? Considering, they beat Millwall 5-1 a little while ago, and Millwall ain't no mucks.
No, and obviously I beat Liverpool as well in the FA Cup as well. It's a good enough team from Liverpool to beat them, and they didn't. But yeah, going to the League One thing quickly, because it is a high possibility, guys. I mean, yeah, I think we'd do all right because, we've got to take into account, like you said, Dad, like Birmingham, they've got a bit of money. That's due to their owners, but we'll have it from the Premier League still, and we will use that on players to come back up and stuff. Players like Asgard will get players that will help him, for example, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm more than confident that we'll go up. Like, say, remember the League One days, beating Accrington Stanley 3-0 away. We were loving it. Loving it. He wanted more of that game. But yeah, that Mick Arthur was in charge for that game, wasn't he? Like you said, when Nathan Jones went, obviously during them times. So yeah, I think we'll be all right if that is the case. Because again, it is a high possibility. We have to be honest, especially if we don't keep picking up points and stuff like that. So. Yeah, that's that really on that. Jackie says, hi, Ty does. Totally agree with all that. It's not over until it is. No. And again, like, I've seen a lot of people criticising Bloomfield. I mean, you shouldn't for me because, it's the timing, like you said, Dad. It's way too late. The only little criticism I've got of him sometimes is some subs he makes and starting 11s. That's it. When it comes to his tactics and the way of playing, I've got no problem with that because we're looking better, like you say. It's like I said, just quickly, in my match reaction the other day, I can't see us conceding many goals as the season goes on. Like, when we lose games, I think it will only be narrow. I don't think we'll get brushed aside. One, because of Naismith, and two, the way Bloomfield's got us implementing this sort of play style. But what was you going to say there, Dad?
The difference between Bloomfield and Edwards is, Edwards knows most, but obviously, apart from the signings we've made, pretty much, yeah, he knows the squad. So and he was playing him still in the wrong positions. Bloomfield's still learning the squad, the players, what's the best positions, this, that, and the other. So of course, but generally, he's playing players in their right positions. He doesn't play anyone out of position. I don't think. Apart from, you could say Bell, but that's why probably he did start Johnson. That's why we probably did keep Johnson. There was talk about him going on loan. I'd be happy to see him in the next game, to be honest. Because I was thinking about it earlier. I don't think he's ever played in a derby, and he's a Luton boy as well, isn't he? So I'd be quite comfortable with starting him, but I don't think we will. I think we'll go with more experience. But yeah, let's get into player ratings.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I say, I think we just look a lot more steady at the back. I mean, and like you say, he's not putting players out of position and stuff. It's just, again, you can't blame him for chances that we're missing as well. On top of that, so that's the player's problem. You can't put it on him. And again, because they've left it so late, they've got someone who's shown. Yeah, it's only been half a season, but shown he's capable of doing it in that league. And with the players that we will have, I agree with you, Dad. We should be coming straight back up, really. With the money as well on top of that you get still from the Premier League, with parachute payments and that, we should be all right. Yes, players will go, but it's what it is. The players that we signed, especially in January. I know, Naismith, Bowler, their loans, but I think we could potentially get Naismith permanently. Can't really see him playing a lot for Bristol City going back there. I don't think he's well out of favour there, really. Asgard's obviously one for the future, so I'm more than confident that we'll come back up if we do go down. So yeah, let's get into the player ratings. So Kaminsky, not really any standout saves in this game, compared to what we see game upon game. Really, I'll be honest. I mean, one of his worser games for Luton, I guess you say. But I'm not gonna go low or anything crazy like that. I'll just go with an average 6.
Yeah, I'll just give him a 6.
Yeah, simple as that. Moving on to McGuinness, obviously was able to carry on. Obviously did have to come off, but was able to carry on. That was good to see that he was. Obviously, he is a doubt though for the weekend, so we'll have to see on that. I mean, that'll be a big blow if he is out. Especially when it comes to centre backs, we haven't really got many. Obviously since we've loaned out Holmes, haven't really got any. Got Anderson, but that's about it that I can really think of. Because the others are more so, one-sided players that can play as the centre back. But yeah, in this game, McGuinness 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5.
Yep, simple as that. Jackie's agreeing with us when it comes to Kaminsky, a 6. Moving on to go over to Bell. Before we go over to Naismith, again, the goal, not great. Did get away with it in the first half, in my opinion, as well. Communication between him and Kaminsky is just not great at the moment. So, yeah, Bell, 5.5.
I'll just give him a 6. But obviously we discussed that already, but I think at times when he didn't really have a lot to do. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, fair enough.
Because we was on, we weren't really that involved.
Yeah, I mean, moving on to the next player, is Naismith. Obviously, I'd like to give a man of the match to him, but I'm not going to. But he would have been my man of the match if we went on to win the game. He'd been a massive part of that. Obviously, nearly got a good opportunity as well for an assist, like say for Nordas. And yeah, it was just really good. Like I say, ball at his feet, really good, calm and composed defender that we've needed since obviously Lockyer's not been available. So he's really shown it. Took the armband, done really well. So Naismith 8.5.
I'll give him 8. He's close to being man of the match. He didn't put a foot wrong. Like I say, control, composure, looking for them passes. And he's playing with some strangers out here as well. I think, and being he was captain was really good. So I'll give him 8.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's other ratings: 6 for McGuinness, Bell 5.5. Agrees with me there. And then the Naismith 7.5. Moving on to Jones. We go over to Jones. Fairly decent game from him. I'd say it was better than the other day. And the other day was good against Sheffield United. It was just when he was, passing the ball back. That was my only worry of him in that game. But this game, he was decent. Didn't have to do that, really. And when he goes forward, we need to utilise him going forward, driving at players because he's so fast. And the way he drives at players as well, he can cause a real threat for us. And obviously Hashioka's a doubt, but even if Hashioka was fit, I can't see anyone getting ahead of Jones right now in that position, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah, as for Jones, I will give him a 7.
I'm going to give him 8. He is my man of the match. I thought he was fantastic. Going forward, going at players, but dribbling past them as well. Winning the ball back and things like that. He's an excellent signing. It's definitely his best game for us. He has to start against Watford. He will definitely cause their problems. He involved in a couple of the chances. The one where Adebayo smashed it. It weren't too far away, to be fair to him, but he created the opportunity by winning the ball back, and he was dribbling past them all with ease. So that's something we definitely need to be looking at, especially on one side you've got Doughty and him on the other side. That we should be utilising that definitely. I thought he was excellent. I really did.
Yeah, no, he was good in this game. Jackie, it's gone with 7.5. Moving on we'll go over to Doughty on the other side. Again, he obviously had a part to play in the goal. Obviously, crossing the ball in. Nordas to obviously flick it on to Brown. And yeah, Doughty was good again. He was trying to run forward, make runs, get balls into the box. He's taking a lot of short corners and free kicks with Walsh again. And again, like I say, I like that we're not so reliant on him when it comes to that now. So again, that's another thing with Bloomfield as well. He's not saying, oh yeah, Doughty take X amount of corners. Whereas, let's be honest, guys, Rob Edwards was. So look at that as well. On top of that, Doughty 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. I thought he looks good, looks lively, linking up well with Walsh in this game, particularly in the previous game with Asgard as well. But yeah, I think him and Walsh they work well together actually. 7.5.
Yeah, Jackie agrees with us, 7.5. Moving on to Walsh, we'll go over to Walsh. Again, a decent game. I think his game on Saturday was slightly better, but he was still good in this game, looking for an eye for a pass, like you say, him and Doughty linking up very well. He was decent. I'll give Walsh a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. Potentially, maybe even should have took him off. But he's played a bit of football and maybe just wanted something a little bit different. But yeah, I'll give him 7.
Again, Jackie agrees with us, 7. We'll go over to Nakamba. Again, I thought Nakamba was pretty decent in this game. Tackling, playing the balls forward and stuff like that. So yeah, Nakamba again. I'll go another 7.
Yeah, neat and tidy. Kind of. We're not noticing him as much, but he's still doing his work. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before we'd notice him a lot more. But yeah, 7.
Yeah, Jack's giving the same again. We're all on the same wavelength so far, predominantly anyway. Asgard, like I say, they kept him quiet a little bit. One thing I didn't like, but it's because they were dealing pretty well with him, is he was crossing the ball in a lot. I don't really want to see him doing that, from open play. And a lot of them were overhit and stuff, but it's not his game. But they dealt with him well. I want to see him having them shots like he did, or like that shot he did against Sheffield United. A lot of goals he's scored this season have been obviously long range, and he will score one like that. It's just bound to happen. Reminds me of Ruddock in the ways of when he does score, it's always a banger, and it will happen for us at some point. But yeah, not as good as obviously his performance on the weekend. So 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. Quite quiet. He was involved in the Brown goal. Passed it to Doughty. But yeah, he was quite quiet. But he's still young. I'm sure we'll see more of him. And again, still be starting him.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. That creativity, that person that will shoot outside the box, he brings that. So I would as well. Fellow 6.5, Jackie agrees again. Moving on to the next player, we will go over to start off with Elijah. Again, had a good chance. Didn't score. I don't know with him at the moment. It is a bit frustrating. I mean, yes, there's that element of we are playing it long to him sometimes. You can't expect him to always get it, but he is getting a bit disappointing now, I have to be honest. Because he's not scoring goals. He's got 5 goals this season. It's not great, is it? So, yeah, Elijah, not great for me in this game. I'll just go with it's going to sound harsh, but I'm going with 5.5 for Elijah.
Yeah,
This
I
game.
agree.
You agree, yeah?
Yeah, he didn't really like. He had a couple of shots, but he's not busting a gutter, and he's not like. Do you know what I mean? Like, get from Colton, you get this new signing was doing it. He's not really doing it for me. So 5.5.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Jackie's gone with the same as well. And then moving on to Nordas, the last player out the starting 11. Really good in the game. Like I say, I think that was a good starting debut. Like I said in my match reaction, to get the assist, was working hard. He's a unit. Like we said, with his height and very good for a tall player. Like usually, it's the smaller players that are better with their technique, but his technique seems good. Being a tall player as well. Already done better than Elijah, in my opinion. Like it's showing elements like you said earlier, but. And yeah, he was decent for me. So for me, I'll give him gonna go 7.5. I'll go 7.
7.5. He was there when we were getting it forward. He was on the end of things. You know what I mean? He got the assist. He had that header early on. He looked really lively. And I think, like, as I said already, I think he needs to be starting. So I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry about that. I'm back. Jackie's gone with a 7 for Nordas. And then moving on to the substitutions. So in this game, we had Brown come on, obviously got a goal. So, he had that other chance though, which does get his rating down a little bit for me. But it's still decent enough, 7.
Yeah, 7. Come on. Obviously to cut Elijah off early in the second half. So that tells you. And, he's brought on to do a job. And, he nearly got the winner as well. 7.
Yeah. Jackie's gone with the same. Baptiste had that shot blocked. Weren't too bad. Obviously, we had our worries. It was going to get injured again. Thankfully, he didn't. But yeah, I felt he was okay in the game. 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. He has got ability, but it's just frustrating, isn't it? But he needs to get back in the swing of things at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah. And then Anderson well, no, you know what? Anderson, I'll just give a straight 6. I didn't really know about that sub. We need to get a goal. And I was a little bit sceptical of that. I like Anderson, but just that sub at the time. And then Ali, I'm actually going to give Ali a flipping 5.5 because he really wound me up in this game, right? We get a corner at the end of the game, last chance. He does a flick like his FIFA streak. What was he doing? And I was calling for him to start. It's so frustrating. Put your laces through it. Because he weren't actually getting full on marked. Just shoot. Stop doing this. Ain't rush on FIFA. Do you know what I mean? So I was a bit annoyed, to be honest. But yeah, 5.4.
I'll just give them both a 6.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackie's gone Baptiste 6.5. It's obviously fair enough. But yeah, they are your player ratings for this game. Best player for me, Naismith, but didn't put him in the votes. And then obviously Jones from UDAD, which is his first vote of the season. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Come the end of the season, who has the most? Most likely to be a player who's obviously been there longer, but you never know. These new signings might just keep shining. The last remaining games, we shall see. But yeah, moving on to the big game on Sunday, M1 Derby. Now, last time we spoke about this away, it didn't end very well, did it? But obviously, we'll take them on. They have dropped off a little bit, I hope, this season. They started off very well at home, but, the recent games have dropped off a little bit. But like we said, form does go up.
Massively. I think they've won 1 in 6 or something like that. That's getting dropping as well, I think. So
we obviously still have our away
issues.
day disappointments, I guess. Obviously, we have got a point, quite recently, but overall, it's still not great. But if there is a game where you have to turn up, it is this game. And like you said, Dad, I was going to touch on it myself. Last time, I had no confidence whatsoever. It was when we lost to Sheffield United away. And then obviously we had the international break. And then I was actually looking forward to it like I was a lot earlier in the season. I'm sure a lot of you was as well. But then we just turned up. But the thing that worries me and in this game is, especially in the recent years, a team that tends to be at home wins. So I don't know if I feel quite the same. I just want a performance, and I know again we said that last time, but we're at home. We're away this time. Which we do struggle. We do struggle at their ground. In recent years, let's be honest, we haven't even scored in the last 2 times we went there. 4-0 defeat and a 1-0 defeat. I think the 1-0 defeat was COVID times, if I remember rightly. But still, we don't score there in recent times. So we've got to change that around when it comes to that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. But a bit of insight going into it, like we always do. So obviously for the table, obviously we sit bottom. A win for us, if we were to go there and win, we could potentially be out of the relegation zone. Well, no, we wouldn't actually. We'd be 22nd, but we'd be on the no, we would be out of the relegation zone if we won. Sorry, because we got back. We'd have more points than Hull, but obviously we were hoping Hull, Derby, and Plymouth getting nothing in their games. So it is a big ask. As for Watford, obviously, if they do win, they will be on the same points as West Brom in 6th, depending on what they do. But obviously, there's 3 teams above them, so it's going to be interesting when it comes to that. Bit timeline going into it. After losing 3-0 in the reverse fixture, Watford will be looking to avoid being on the receiving end of a league double from Luton Town for the first time since the 1987 to 88 season. Luton Town have won each of their last 2 league games against Watford without conceding. The Hatters haven't won 3 in succession without conceding since November 1980. Watford have lost, this is on their home form, Watford have lost each of their last 5 home league matches, having won 10 of their 12 at Vicarage Road beforehand. The Hornets last had a longer losing run between December 2021 and April 2022, which was 11 in the Premier League, while outside in the top flight, they've last lost 6 in a row between August and October 1990. Luton Town have won just 1 of their last 26 away league games, drawing 5, losing 20. Losing 12 of their 13 on the road, drawing 1 of their last 13 on the road. Since winning 1-0 at Millwall, as we all know. Can't stand this guy. Moussa Sissoko scored Watford's goal in a 1-0 victory over Middlesbrough in the last championship game. At the age of 35 years and 183 days, only Marco, 36, 300 days versus Blackburn in March 2014, has scored for the Hornets at an older age in the championship since 2004 to 5. And a bit more going into it. Matt Bloomfield's Hatters head to Hertfordshire, hoping to take the positive from Wednesday night's draw with Plymouth. Tom Cleverley's Hornets ended a 6-game winless streak last Saturday with an important away win at Middlesbrough. Bit more on them, not that we really want to, but Watford's season has somewhat stagnated since they arrived at Kenilworth Road, occupying the final playoff place back in October. Just 1 of Watford's last 11 games resulted in victory for their big away win at Middlesbrough, like I said. The Hornets now 3 points below the top 6. Sunday's hosts have been dominant at home until that pattern faded out in recent weeks with 5 consecutive defeats at Vicarage Road. They'll be welcoming back top scorer Bayo after serving a 3-match ban for a red card in the Norwich City defeat earlier this month. And then the referee for this game will be Andrew Kitchen. 75 yellow cards and 2 red cards have been handed out by him across the 21 games this season. Hopefully, not a red card for us. Obviously, last time we went there, did get a red card. Osho. Just 3 of Kitchen's 21 games this season have not been championship fixtures. He last officiated the Luton game when we beat Derby, so our last win overall. He gave us a couple of free kicks, so that's all I really remember. And we just scored and ended up winning. So Interesting one. Like we've said, they have dropped off a little bit at home. Form, anything can happen. I mean, how are you feeling going into this stage? Are you feeling confident?
Not really, no. But um, based on the last game, we did put in that performance. I expect the same. Um, but they're going to be a bit prepared for that. They're at home. It's going to be. It's going to be a. I think it's going to be a really feisty game. To be honest with you. Um, yeah, I can see cards, red cards, everything. Um, but listen, we just got to put performance in, and we got to get a result really, you know, because Plymouth, yeah, but losing this, I think, the players will definitely lose a lot of confidence. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter where they are on the table, and it didn't matter before. Do you know what I mean? The performance was there, so they showed that fight. So they it needs to happen again. And if it doesn't, then I think that's when it's looking more and more likely. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like we've got we signed in players. We've got decent players. We've got players who cause them problems. Obviously, they got Bayo back. He's bound to score against us. He's fresh. He's he got that ban. He'll go straight in, and I think we just need to get at him and play it like it's a final or whatever, like it is a proper derby, and do what we normally do. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say I was confident, but I'm hoping for a similar performance like the last game.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, yeah, I'm not too confident, like I say, because of that home thing. Like, just the team tends to be at home, especially since I've managed to, proper watch a derby over the years. It's always the team at home that wins. They, like I say, and also, like I said, the last two times we went there, we haven't scored. It's a bit of a worry. And again, it's basically like how they probably feel coming to Kenilworth Road most of the time. That's how I feel going to theirs, especially this Sunday. Like you say, it could be a sort of make or break in the sense of, obviously if we do lose the confidence, like you say, but then a make, if we get a win here, like I say, we could actually go out the relegation zone if the other teams don't win and stuff. So it's a massive, massive game, really, in that sense, taking away the derby element. As for them, if they did win, they would be level on points with West Brom in sixth, depending on what they do, which obviously they'll know by then. So it's a massive, massive game, taking away the derby element, like I say. So it's an interesting one. I mean, when we did lose 4-0, I can't remember if I don't think Naismith was in the squad. He didn't start. I can't remember if he was on the bench or anything. I was just trying to see, but it's looking useless on Google once you've already played that game a couple of years ago. But obviously that weren't great from our element. Obviously in that game, I mean, conceded two early goals, didn't we? Fairly early on, and it's just a long way back really. And then obviously the game before that, like I said, I think it was COVID time, so their ground 1-0 win it was. So we just don't really score there, like they don't at Kenilworth Road. So it's interesting, but line up going into it. Line up, shall I say? This is what I'll go with going into this game. So I'll stick with the formation that we have gone with, which is obviously the 3-5-2. Kaminsky in goal. It goes without saying. I have stuck with Bell, and again, it goes back to sort of what you said earlier, Dad, with the experience side of things. I wouldn't mind Johnson though. I think I would have no problem with Johnson starting because I think he can thrive on this type of game. He's been at Luton long enough to know what this game's about, and it could be a game where he shines. You know, in the last couple of games he's played, he ain't looked bad. I don't think he was terrible against Sheffield Wednesday. I don't think he was bad in that game, so I wouldn't mind it. I just think we'll go with the experience and go with Bell there. Naismith centre back, that goes without saying. Obviously, there is McGuinness as a doubt. I think he could be okay, but I'm just basing it on the sense that he's not okay. And I have gone Anderson because I don't really know who else there is. I mean, you can put Walters there. I just want to go with someone who's a centre back, who is actually a centre back. I don't know if Anderson's played in a back three many, many times, but he is a centre back. If we had Holmes, I probably would have went with Holmes, but obviously we don't. So yeah. And then when it comes to the five, basically, so the two on each side, Doughty and Jones, I think that goes without saying. And then I've gone Nakamba basically in his own spot, but he's in that part of that five. And then I've gone Asgard and Walsh. Clark is still out. Even if he was available, I'd still probably go with them two, to be honest with you. Again, I know Clark got the first goal against Watford last time. Bit of a fortunate goal, wasn't it? But, we'll take it. I'll still go with them two. And then up front, you got to stick with Nordas. I'm dropping Elijah. I was debating to put Morris and Brown in. Morris or Brown with Nordas, but I'm going to go with Brown, partly because he scored, and he did score against him last time. He actually had a decent cameo, didn't he? And them times there, whether he started or not, he done all right. But I think it probably will be Morris, I'll be honest. But again, this is what I'd go with. And I would go Brown just because he scored. And Nordas was really good the other day. And yeah, maybe Bloomfield won't want to pile up that pressure on him too much in the sense of, he's just joining. Morris obviously knows what Derby's about a bit more. He might go like Morris and Brown, for example. But I don't know. I think you've got to keep Nordas in. And I'm going Brown because he scored. Elijah's not scoring. Morris ain't scoring. However, I do think if Morris and Nordas are up front, it could work a bit better than Nordas and Elijah. So that's my lineup that I would go with in this game. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, do put in your lineups as well for this game as well. But there you go. There's your lineup, Dad.
Yeah, so obviously Kaminsky. I've done. Certain people are calling for Shea. I don't even think is Shea even fit.
Nah, it keeps being caught on the bench. So I don't know why people keep saying that, to be honest.
Yeah. Naismith in the centre. I'm basing it on McGuinness not being fit as well. We're going to go with Bell because he's got the more experience. And I'll put Walters because he's used to playing in that position. I'll say it'd probably be better than Anderson in that position. Nakamba sitting in front of the defence. Jones and Doughty, Walsh and Asgard. And then obviously I've also kept Nordas up front, but I think Morris is going to come straight back in here as captain against Watford. He's played a few times against them. He knows the coup. Maybe well up for it. He's had, a little bit of a break, let's be honest. Hopefully he's fit enough and well enough to put it on him. So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, like I say, I'd have no problem if Morris did obviously start because, like you say, he knows about it. And to be fair, when we beat him 3-0, it's probably our best player, one of our best players. He got a goal early in the second half, and he was a massive lump in a good way, causing a threat to them, and they just couldn't really handle him. So I'd have no problem with that. I'm just basing it more on players that are scoring at the moment. Nordas made a good impact the other day. So that's the reason I've gone with Brown. But it will be probably Morris, like I say. There's more chance it will be Morris when it comes to that. But it's that time, Dad. Like we said, we're both not really feeling confident. Mainly how they feel when they come to Kenilworth Road. Not confident. Score prediction. Can it be a make or break?
It's going to be feisty. It's going to be... there's going to be goals. Just can't see us beating them. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw.
Okay, goals. Interesting. I mean, over the years, they have been goals, even if that's for one side. It has been a lot of goals in that sense. As for me, I'm going to go with a low-scoring one, though. I'm going to say they win, unfortunately. I don't like to say that, but I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to say 1-0 to them. Unfortunately, I just think they'll nick it. Bio. I just hate to say it, but I can just see it. And I think we will give it a good go, but I don't know, man. It's hard to knock back us to score, really, of how we've been looking. last 2 games going forward at times. Like we're having chances, and we are taking some, just not all of them. As seen in the Sheffield United game, for example. But last game, obviously, we did. But I don't know. If we get anything, I'll be happy. Even a draw, I'll be happy. But yeah, unfortunately, I think they might win. So yeah, I'll say 1-0, unfortunately. But big up to Spencer. He says, "Hey all, big up to yourself, mate. Hope you are well. Do get in your score predictions as well." Jackie has got hers in. She's gone, "Yes, I'm hoping Morris is back. Yeah, he'll come straight back in. I do believe that. 2-1 Nordas and Morris, fingers crossed." I mean, any of the new signings scoring this game, they're ultimately, well, it's going to be a bit of a stretch to say that, but, there could be a cult hero, let's say that, going forward, because, it could be a positive make for us and then kick us on. But, it's going to be a big ask. It's not going to be like the game at Kenilworth Road. If we stick it on them, which teams have done, teams that have been down there as well, like Cardiff beat them at home, a few others as well. We're more than capable of doing that. But it's just, will we take them chances? That's the thing for me. And I feel that could be the difference. Bio comes straight back in. Because obviously I don't like him, but he's a decent player. Do you know what I mean? I can just see him coming in and scoring. Hopefully I'm wrong. But yeah. Paul's gone with you, same as you, Dad. He's on 2-2. Nordas and Morris. Obviously, I can't do a goal scorer. But obviously, we'll get you all 2 in a minute, Dad. 2-1 to Watford. Yeah. And Jamie's gone 2-0 Watford. Oh, I don't want to see that. But yeah, it is what it is. Your 2 goal scorers, Dad?
I'm going to go Nordas and Walsh.
Oh, do you know what? That'd be so sick if Walsh got something in this game. That's not a red card. If there is a game where we don't want him to get a red card, but more so, he probably is this. But I think I want him to have that redemption, like I've said the last couple of weeks, man. And he's played well. Yeah, he's played well, and I know he had that grit and determination in this game to do well. So I believe that it'll be good again. But yeah, fair enough. Who's your other one? Sorry.
Nordas,
yeah. A lot of us reckon Nordas, yeah. Fair enough. If I was to do it, I probably... I've got a feeling Asgard, Asgard banger. But if we do score, I don't want to jinx it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go 1-0 up and then lose. It just would be typical. But hopefully I'm wrong. But yeah, this is... now we know how they predominantly feel when they come to Kenilworth Road after time in the Harry Potter buses and that. But we will not be turning up in no Harry Potter buses. But if you are going, which obviously I won't be because I'm not season ticket holder, but if you are, make the most of the atmosphere. Get on it from minute 1. Even before that, because we really need this. This could be a spark to kick on the rest of the season. And again, we did say it last time, but this is really it now. And this is different circumstances, different manager, January window, new signings. This is the opportunity, especially with our record there in recent years. Like I say, if we're to go there and get anything, I'll be happy. I'll be honest. So let's see. Let's go from there. But yeah, any final things that you want to say before we end it?
No, I'm looking forward to it. So let's go.
Yeah, you always look forward to it, whether you're not on good form or not. And again, that comes down to form going out the window. But yeah, as for this game, I will be doing a vlog in a pub, so that's going to be interesting. An outdoor one. It's got the outdoor bit. They're going to have it on the screens. And then obviously I will do a match reaction, which will obviously come out before and things like that. And I'm sure David, I'm not sure if he's going, but he'll have some sort of reaction as well. So do check that out when that comes out and everything like that. And then obviously we don't play after that until next Saturday. So we'll probably do a hat show early on in the week and then do a preview separate for the Portsmouth game it is, which I might be going to. I'm not too sure yet. But obviously, I'll let you guys know nearer the time. So, yeah, smash a like, all of that. So do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A new subscriber recently as well, so big up for that. Yeah, smash a like, subscribe. Follow me across all my socials. Subscribe to the extra channel. And, yeah, like Spencer says here, take care, everyone. Come on, you at us. Absolutely, mate. And big game for Liverpool this weekend. It's going to be interesting against Man City. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in and all of that. And yeah, I will see you lot on Sunday for the big one. And then obviously we'll have a hat show early on in the week to react to this game, Monday or Tuesday. And then we'll go from there. So yeah, Friday will be the Portsmouth preview. Big up to Ed as always. And yeah, until next time, take care and peace. Come on, Luton.